Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's 1 million by 1 million strategy roundtable for entrepreneurs. This is part of the 1Mby1M Global Virtual Accelerator. It is the first of its kind, founded in 2010. We've been experimenting with online mentoring since 2008, this format, and that blossomed into the 1M1M program. And now last fall, we started experimenting with an AI mentor. That product is now ready and in the market and being used by entrepreneurs. We have a terrific curriculum built on huge body of case studies, and we've learned a lot. The industry has changed and evolved, and we've learned a lot. AI has really unlocked entrepreneurship at an unprecedented level. I don't know if you read my recent article, two articles actually, one about on Lovable and another on Replit. And Lovable in particular has really unlocked entrepreneurship in non-technical founders in a very, very big way. And they have some 260 million users and a huge number of apps, tens of millions of apps and lots of solo entrepreneurs. This article that I was just talking about in The Economist yesterday talks about how the number of solo entrepreneurs has ballooned. So these are all vectors in which we've been working, promoting solo entrepreneurship, promoting virtual acceleration, promoting non-technical founders, all of these things. And in every single one of those vectors, there is, explosion of results. And our work is not just the people who are members of the 1Mby1M program. We've done incredible amount of writing, speaking, advocacy work, research, and all of that is paying off in some sense to achieve this mission of helping 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million and beyond in annual revenue. So, look forward to the upcoming years. We're not going anywhere. It's been 16 years of 1Mby1M in its current form, plus the years leading up to it when it was the gestation and the germination that was going on before that. So it's been more than 20 years of working on the same agenda. So great to see you all. Let's dive in, and just a moment, let me. So I think we have, by the way, this is the 736th 1M1M roundtable. Over 300,000 people have participated in these, and the AI mentor is working really well. You should definitely use it. There's a Udemy course, a free Udemy course, where we have provided batteries of prompts. So take your slide deck, run it through the AI mentor, and use these prompts to dialogue with the AI mentor, and you will have an incredibly deep conversation and get an enormous amount of insight about your venture. Remember, this is a safe working session. So you're going to dive in, work with your project, brainstorm, find ways of acceleration. And you disagree with my feedback, that's fine. It's your venture. You do whatever you want. It's really up to you. My job is to give you feedback, give you, candid feedback on what I see. You can do what you want with it. Shubhajyoti Ganguly, you are up next.
Thank you, Sramana. So yeah, let me first talk about the problem, what I'm building.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Project Planner for Agents in a short one sentence. But the question is, why do we need a project planner? Claude can do all its plans and agents can do all its plans. So let's dive a little bit deeper to understand deeper what the problem statement is all about. Next slide. So here you see the problem statement. There is an agent and every agent can plan, Claude can plan, but when you are operating those in a company setting or in a larger organization, there is a concept of value generation. Every agent needs to work towards a particular goal, an economic goal primarily, whether to generate revenue for the company or to optimize its costs in some way. And that large, broad level goal needs multiple agents, and their plans need to collaborate together for that to happen. It cannot happen through one cloud or one agent or anything like that. So you need an ecosystem, a spine work, a framework which embeds into the company's processes, into the product development process, and then it works, operates on that larger level goal, and then it assimilates tasks and tunes everything to reach that goal. That is what Meridian's planning system is all about, a value-based planning system. So
Okay.
what we call it, like in when Google came in the market, they invented search engine. And why it was important? There were search engines before that. We had lots of search, but what Google did was, there was, with the dot-com boom, there were a lot of data available online publicly, freely. Everywhere could access that data. But to gather insight from the data, to search the right data at the right time, you needed Google. It was indexing all that data, and it was providing a way to navigate that data. Same way, in the AI era, you have intelligence everywhere. You have a design intelligence, you have a financial intelligence, you have a product building intelligence. But to achieve a goal, everything needs to work in a connected way, indexed properly. Context need to exchange between one another. And that's where you generate value. And that's what Meridian does really well. So
Yeah.
next slide, let's. So why the problem is very relevant now? We have seen the news all the time, like there are huge AI costs piling up for all the corporates who have tried to adopt AI. Initially, there was a lot of AI whitewashing. People got fired due to AI, but then again they got hired back because the LLM costs kept rising up and they were not able to optimize these profits. We all saw this kind of news then. And this is an exponential level scaling. As the number of agents increase, as the number of use cases of AI adoption increases, you end up using the AI for doing a lot of useless work, repetitive work, which at the end doesn't result in actual value with what the company's goal is. And
Mhm.
this work, as the team size grows, it grows exponentially. And the larger the company, the larger the loss for this. And that's where we want to optimize. So a little bit deeper into this problem statement, since you spoke about Lovable some time back. Lovable is a way where you type in a prompt, it generates your MVP really, really fast. Same with Replit. But when that MVP starts going to production, user requests start coming in. There is a product development process that happens around that MVP. That's when Lovable stops being that valuable. You cannot evolve that product around the Lovable ecosystem that much.
Mhm.
That's where you need engineering teams, you need Jira, you need a proper project management system. All of these things come in place. Now, the problem is the older generation of project management systems, Jira and all of the linear, these were not made for agents. They were made with story points and agile-based planning and all of these techniques. These were designed for humans, human effort estimation and epics, and these were not designed for agents natively. So that's what we are. Meridian is the Jira for agents. It is what Jira did for humans, Meridian does it for agents and for an AI native product development team.
Okay.
So how it does that? It does that through two core loops working in layers. The first, the loop on top, which you see, is a market synchronization loop. It
Mhm.
picks up your real users from your CRM, and by running validation surveys, it makes a list of users. It builds a personality model out of your real users, and then it generates a synthetic market out of that personality model. And this loop continuously runs, keeps running in the background, so that your synthetic market is always a very close match of what your real users are thinking and are doing. And on that synthetic market, we link another loop, which is the product market fit loop. So we run idea validation experiments on that synthetic market, generate specs, do the development, the planning, tracking, and the entire product development life cycle on a singular knowledge base for the entire company. So these are all individual small use cases happening, one loop running the product market fit and one loop running the market synchronization. When these two loops run in parallel, all grounded in a company-wide knowledge base, you create this kind of value-based system. This is our core solution.
And who is the target customer?
Enterprise PM, anyone who is using Jira and are following agents to build their products.
Okay.
So when Lovable stops being useful, that's when Meridian comes. People will build their MVP on Lovable, they will deploy. The moment it starts going to scale, that's when Lovable Replit starts failing. That's when Meridian comes in the picture.
Astra is your product?
Yes, this is my product. This is the agent which runs the entire product market fit loop. It starts from onboarding. It helps you position your product against your competitors, creates your positioning maps, SWOT. It helps you with the ideation, runs a lot of validation experiments, generates survey forms, generates answers to the survey forms. It sends the survey forms to real users as well. It compares their answers to the synthetic market answers, does a tuning process on that. And then after all that tuning, it scopes that down. It breaks those ideas into feature tracks. And then it generates your critical path management and your project graph calculation around how will you allocate your resources optimally so that you can get that entire track completed with the least amount of resources in the shortest timeline. It helps you run all of the simulations. And then you can finally do the task and release it. This entire loop is managed by one master agent, and that is Astra. That is something I developed over the last 4 months.
And what is the evidence that the product is working? Do you have customers?
Yes, we have 3 customers, and we have the overall the research part of it, the ideation research part is very strong. People love that part. It's working. Even the project graph simulation, which I told, these 2 core parts are really good, really working. What we are facing challenges is because it's a new concept, there's a mental model around it. People are used to Jira, people are used to epics and features and the Kanban style of doing things. So that mental model retrofitting and we are doing. So we are working with 2 enterprise clients, all have 20 plus engineers on their team. The entire team is running Meridian and they are using it heavily.
Enterprise, the definition of enterprise client is large companies. Is that what you have?
No, not. We are working with a Razorpay. We are part of Razorpay Rise. Their case study we are working it. We are developing features for them, but they have not started actively using it on their day-to-day basis. So it's like they have given us these are the 3 features we would need, and that is a kind of an adoption thing we are doing. And the enterprise clients, they also have a lot of SOC 2, GDPR, and compliance-based issues. So we need to cross all that hurdles to get into an enterprise client and test that case there. So we are doing that work currently.
And is Razorpay a paid pilot?
No. Razorpay Rise, we are like backed by Razorpay. Means from my previous venture as well. So Razorpay's director of engineering is a mentor in Meridian. So he has a weekly call with me every week to help me get the product fit for the Razorpay use case. And then they will do the adoption and other kind of door openings that comes along with it. So this has been going for 3 weeks now. So
what about
that's
the other 2 customers? What is the situation in the other 2 customers?
The other 2 customers, they are using it heavily. The team members are a little bit, they suddenly get a new portal, they are used to Jira, they are certain things like that. For them also, we have a weekly call for both those customers. Then that's where we are doing this education. Okay, this is the screen we go to. We realize, okay, this UX is a little bit overwhelming. I make it a little bit simpler for them, automate a part of this research. This kind of market fitting work that we are doing right now.
And they are, these 2 companies are also large companies?
Not SMEs, I would say. 20 engineers, total headcount of the company would be around 50.
I see. So small businesses, you're relatively small businesses.
Relatively small businesses.
Okay.
Yeah, so our we are built this for modern product teams. Pre-seed founders actually love our product. What we have seen it, our product is great for idea validation. So if someone is starting new in Replit or let's say Lovable, you have to write your own prompt. Now that means you have to do the research, you have to know what features to build, how exactly to build, and then if you give it to Lovable or Replit, they'll do it really well. But our product is really good for ideation. You start with the raw, simplest form of the idea, and the agent kicks off with a brainstorming process. It helps you refine your idea, identify the differentiation, the positioning, and get that perfect set of MVP feature list, which will make your product revenue generating very quickly. We found value there, but what we realized is people used to try that out, get that feature list out, and then they used to not pay us because once they have that, they
Pre-seed
can
is
build
the
it.
worst. Pre-seed is the worst customer base for your kind of product.
Exactly.
They'll not
So
pay. So this is why I'm asking you about enterprise. If you Jira made money in the enterprise. So
that's when we shifted. We realized this learning 2 months back, and then we shifted completely to the enterprise work. We have still kept our older research module, but then we developed all this critical path management and this product market fit loop all around that research module to make it a complete product platform.
but remember, a small business customer and an enterprise customer are very different go-to-market paths. And you can't do both of those. You have to choose which one you're going to do.
Well, the enterprise customer is a kind of a longer sales cycle. It is harder to crack it.
Of course.
And yeah, so it is difficult to make money in the enterprise or in the builder economy. That's what we realized. But the SME and startups is an easy sell. I can just tell you are using Jira, you just pay the same amount of money to me and you get a better product out of Jira. That's a very easy sell and it's a very easier acquisition drive. So that's why we are doing this SME startups right now.
It is not an easy sell at all. It is not an easy sell at all at scale.
At scale, not. Yes, we have
not,
to.
I mean, it is not an easy sale at all because at $100 a month, you're not going to knock on people's doors and sell to them. You're going to have to sell with marketing.
Yes.
The problem with SMEs is that you cannot do direct selling. You cannot talk to them. You cannot, you cannot pitch to them. $100 a month is a price point at which you cannot pitch to people. You're going to have to sell without having any conversation with them. They'll have to be able to buy your product without having any conversation with you. That's where it becomes complicated.
But what is your kind of a GTM suggestion for the enterprise? Like that would be our ideal ICP, I would say.
If enterprise is your ideal ICP, then you need to find engineering teams within. Is it primarily being used by engineering teams, or who's using it? Product marketing? Is it product marketing who's using it? Is it engineering who's using it? Because you have what you've presented is all over the place. It's engineering, it's marketing, it's like products that straddle that much are very difficult to sell.
That's what we are realizing.
You have to solve the problem of one ICP that is very tightly defined and can make the decision to buy the product and use the product and get value. So there's a problem with your product design. Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. Even I have heard the feedback, like their product teams are using a different software like Notion and all of that. And then the engineering teams are using different software. Now to unify all of them under the same software is a harder sell.
It's very difficult. It's not going to happen. You're going to have to you're going to have to do this. The product design is flawed, I would say. You're going to need to rethink the product design. Like if you're really going, marketers don't use Jira. Right? Jira is an engineering team product.
Right.
It's, in fact, Jira is a DevOps product, isn't it? So if you're
Yeah.
going after Jira, and if you're going after the Jira buyer and you're telling them that we have a product that goes straight out against Jira, and this is what it does, this is your problem that you are going to solve, then you cannot pitch him on marketing benefits, and that's not what engineering teams do. Engineering teams do engineering work, and you're going to need to change your pitch to an engineering pitch. The product needs to be an engineering product, and you need to pitch to directors of engineering, VPs of engineering kind of people.
We don't do marketing as such, but we do product scoping, which is a kind of a PM job.
Scoping is not done by engineers.
Yes.
Product scoping is done by product marketeers. And that's a different product than what you can sell to engineers.
Would your suggestion to be to split the product and then try?
Absolutely, split the product. You have to split the product. You have to split the product.
And what would your suggestion be a larger market? Is it like targeting Jira or targeting the product market scoping part? Because both are equally mature, I would say.
You should run proper bottom-up TAM analysis and make that decision yourself. My hunch is probably Jira.
Yes, even Jira is a larger market.
Because it's an established market. Jira is an established market, and it depends, is it something that if you have a product team, if you have an engineering team of 15 people, 30 people, 50 people, are each of them using it? Is it a $300 per month per person product, or is it $300 per month for the whole team? That will determine which is the larger market.
It is never $300 per month. It is slightly, I would place the value of our product maybe 20% higher than Jira's model, which is $8 per user per month is the Jira model. Something around $10 per user per month should be our pricing model. That's how I price.
What is this $300 per month that you have?
It is for teams of 15 to 30. I've just summed it up into around $300.
So it is a per user pricing model.
Yes.
Everyone in the team are going to be using this.
Yes, of course.
Okay. All right. So then I think I would say takeaways from this conversation is that split up the product, define the ICP, and pick one ICP and build the full product for that ICP, and go do the full go-to-market motion for that ICP, and build the company around that ICP first. And of course, you can add, products later. You can add a marketing product later and so on. But I think that finding customers is really hard. Companies that have more products that can be sold to the same customer do much better than people who have to find another customer. So if you have gotten into engineering and you're selling a product that is a Jira plus, is there other things that same buyer might want? I would understand that and try to build the product positioning around that particular investment thesis. But spanning the enterprise, and you have to sell to engineering, sell to marketing, sell to sales, I wouldn't do that. That's a much sale.
Understood. It was the way Meridian was built was I was a solopreneur and I was managing all of these things in my previous startup. So I built a product for myself, kind of, and then I did this retrofitting. So all the things.
Solopreneur at all, right? Enterprise is not a solopreneur.
No. But then, like I mentioned, they were not paying, and that pivot happened, and then I shifted that to a much more enterprise model. That's how the evolution happened, and that's where we end up right now.
I would say that find enterprise engineering directors, engineering VPs who can work with you to really define the Jira equivalent or enhancement product. Okay.
Understood.
And this needs to be redone accordingly. You need to do a bottom-up TAM analysis. It's not $140 billion. This product is not $140 billion TAM. No one takes 140 billion TAM seriously unless you are ChatGPT. So you have to do a bottom-up TAM analysis and define based on what we just discussed, based on the ICP we just discussed, find what is the TAM for that. And well, I would say that's my feedback, and I would say this conversation was extremely productive.
Sure.
You got real insights, and you can go and really execute on what we discussed, and I think you will find, pathways into customers much faster. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. You can ask more questions later. Let me finish with Mitra, and then I will open up for Q&A. I see other people in the room also. Okay, let me get to Mitra's slides. Mitra, please unmute.
Yes. No, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you fine.
I'm going to switch off the camera because to get a better bandwidth. And,
much clearer. Your audio is much better.
So the things are like this is that, let me tell you a story. I've been in this part of the world in Southeast Asia for almost 25 years, having worked in China and Southeast Asian market, and working with the likes of Accenture, McKinsey, and SAP, we found it that the data is the main problem and the challenge faced by the clients in the enterprise sector. So in 2024, after I left my Accenture job, I started the first company, Athenatech, which is a GenAI consultancy, which is more into agentic function and more into business effectiveness and impact, which is running today. But in 2026, February, we launched the first HS first RAG and GAN embedded first synthetic data intelligence platform, Axon, which was launched in February this year. And in the last 5-6 months, almost 7 months, we have been getting a lot of positive traction, and we have started the revenue flow and also the traction in different domains. So we started our launch of this Axon with a collaboration with one of the largest healthcare provider in Malaysia and in Southeast Asia called Sansi Bharat. They are already operating on different hospitals and pharmacy companies based out of India, Malaysia, Singapore, Vietnam, and other areas. So what we are doing is that we are helping them, we are powering them on different areas of critical care in like the likes of cancer research, ovarian cancer, cervical cancer, including endocrinologists and so on. So what we are doing is that we are using synthetic data.
These are paying customers, yes?
So we have signed an agreement with Sansi Bharat with a value of almost 100,000 US dollar for the first 6 months. And then we are escalating them into different areas of their healthcare, working with the likes of Gleneagles, Novostick, Thompson, Columbia Hospital, and so on and so forth in the Southeast Asian market. So coming back to the most important thing is that what we are doing is that we are using our Axon to generate synthetic data, and this synthetic data is being embedded within their domain requirement in terms of patient persona and stratigraphic pattern analysis. So the synthetic data is being used and supplied on different inputs to the likes of pharmaceutical companies for drug discovery, for experimentation, and so on and so forth. So you can see in this slide that this is a launch which took place in February 2026 in Malaysia in the Southeast Asian market. Next slide, please. So the most important problem statement is that is a data problem. So what we are doing is that we are creating 3 areas where to solve this challenge faced by the Asian enterprise. One is in the area of no data, where we are putting into different formats of data, whether it's structured, unstructured. The second one is in that the costly of the data. The data is costly. The clients are not being able to share the data, use the data, especially in the banking sector, in the fintech sector. And thirdly, obviously, the regulatory compliance, including PDPA and the European Commission, which is very hard. So it is very difficult to work or do research on their own residential data. So that's where the likes of synthetic data is coming into the front in the last 4 or 5 years. And because of this foundation models whom we are working, that interesting thing is that the importance of synthetic or AI-generated data is creating a lot of emphasis, a lot of traction, and positive results in this space. Next one. So the platform is based only for the Asian right now. So we're using RAG and GAN. We're using our own Bayesian algorithms for the localized LLM code. It has a quality score, which is very much embedded into different verticals. And we have also started the agentic function with A2A, where the agents are getting trained before deployment. So that is on the testing side. But right now, what is the important thing about this platform is that it is already working on certain key verticals, and I will give you some of the use case studies which is taking place. Number one, in the West Asian crisis, the oil embargo or the state of Hormuz, the oil price is rocketing.
Slow down. First and foremost, your audio is not very clear, and you speaking very fast, so I don't think we can hear you very well or understand you very well. So slow down, speak slowly, and try to adjust your audio so we can hear you better. There's something in your setting that is preventing your audio to come in.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, it is better, actually.
Okay, fine. So I took out my earbud. So just to give you a rough down, I'll slightly stop and explain the whole process. Is that because of this oil price going up, so some of the key elements of airlines industry in the Middle East are trying to find out how well to salvage the profit, the loss they have recovered, loss they're making from their route optimization plan for falling on the traffic. So that's one area. So we are working with them, the likes of Qatar Airlines to Malaysian Airlines to other airlines, to find out and create synthetic data to do analysis to find out how to decouple the profit. For example, a flight taking from Kuala Lumpur to, say, Melbourne. So the route optimization is taking place and the route has suffered a huge loss. So now what we are doing is that we are working with the likes of Accenture and McKinsey to supply them the insight and the modeling part on the synthetic data. So that's on the aviation part. The oil price or the Brent crude oil price or the federal interest rate or the employment rate and other parameters are taken into consideration when we are analyzing the model and we are structuring the data. And this is all on the area of structured data where we are using. And the structured data are all embedded with quality score as per the regulatory compliance of European Commission, PDPA and GDPR and other things. So that's one area on the area of work. On the area of healthcare also, we have started working with USA, some of the Virginia Politic, and with OpenAI for supplying them with AI agent synthetic data for AI training. That's a very interesting thing which we are doing. So we are getting health records or health catalogs, mental health catalogs of 30 types of catalogs are taken into consideration, and we are using this we are creating unstructured data, and we are using token to find out the dialogue between the doctor and the patient, and that is being supplied to the likes of the foundation models, including OpenAI through Virginia Politics and Maryland University, to find out for the AI training. So that's another part which is being started. The third one is that, you know, Malaysia and Singapore are the hotbeds of all the data centers being stacked up. So most of these data centers are being built by the Chinese government for Chinese brands. So the data centers requires huge amount of infrastructure, including water, electricity, and other infrastructural requirement. So we are working with the NVIDIA, with the data centers to find out the requirement of water, electricity, and other areas on the periphery of the data centers being built up, and the requirement and demand forecasting, because they don't have any water. The third one, which we are working, is in the area of, next slide, please. So this is, I'll just keep this. This is basically the market size, which is growing. And as McKinsey has forecasted, the 70% of the data today will be in synthetic data by 2026, which is amounting to almost 70% of the data being used for both for non-clinical and clinical use in the market. Next one. So what we are doing is that, so what we are doing for the data centers are simply using synthetic data or AI generated data and we are giving and working with them to find out the demand forecasting, because they don't have any data, to find out what will be the impact on the area of community development, which is having a huge impact. As you said rightly, the economics has been vocal on this, on the impact of community on the area of Texas, where the data centers have been worked out. Similarly, in case of Malaysia and Vietnam, these data centers are creating some kind of an havoc.
I'm going to stop you for a second and try to understand what is the state of your business. So it sounds like you are a former consultant who's applying principles of consulting to building a software company, and you are going after a very diverse set of use cases which have absolutely no repeatability. And that's very, very much a consulting company DNA. In software companies, when we are building software companies, we focus on repeatability. That's the difference between between doing services projects, consulting projects, and actually building a product that can be sold to a lot of people. So when you think of,
let me explain to you. I think I have not been able to explain to you properly is that all these verticals which we are working, we have a 2 years contract we are making. Number one, consultancy is one part where we are where my first company Athanetech is doing. Ours are basically we are working on data. We are creating data when there is no data. When there is less data, we are augmenting the data.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Please try to understand what I'm saying. The way we build software companies, and I can only tell you how my industry operates. Software business, if you want to build a software product company, you need repeatability. You do not go after diverse use cases. That is not how successful software product companies are built. So the first thing that strikes me in this is that the DNA of your company is a consulting DNA, and it's going all over the place and picking whatever problem it thinks it can solve by sticking this data layer in the back. And it's going after a very diverse set of use cases with no repeatability. This is not the way we build software companies. That's the first thing that strikes me based on what I've heard so far. So tell me, what brings you here? What are you looking for?
Let me answer some of the points which I understand from where you're coming from. Number one is that we have chosen 5 or 6 verticals where we are testing our product.
We don't work in that way. We choose one vertical and execute the hell out of one vertical.
But the issue in this case is that the data is required by everyone. Number 2 is that the data is required in different verticals. Whether it's a healthcare.
It doesn't matter. This is not how we build software companies. So this is why I'm asking you, why did you come here? What brought you here? What are you looking for? And I can tell you directly whether I can help you or not.
So what we are trying to do is that we want to have your inputs on the scaling up to move this platform.
The way you're building the company is not going to scale. That's what I'm saying. If you don't listen to me, then I'm not even going to try, because we're on completely different planets on how we think about building companies. So my question to you is, are you interested in learning a different way of building a company? Then I can teach you. If you're trying to convince me that your way is right and you're not interested in what we have learned in all these years of working on this, then I have nothing to offer you, really. I can offer you my best wishes, but that's about all I can offer you. And I've seen this movie before. This is why I'm trying to understand where you're coming from. What is your level of openness to learning how to build a software company? Because you haven't done that before. You haven't built a software company before. Silicon Valley has been building software companies for a long time. And this methodology of building software companies have been exported to the world. India has built a lot of some software companies now. Europe has built software companies. So there's there's a well understood way of how software companies are built. And if you're going to violate those principles, then I can't really add value to your process.
I understand where you're coming. I appreciate your point of view. So I have few points to ask you. Number one, as a synthetic data or that data company where we are generating data, okay, and we are on the world and we are developing the platform to scale up. So what we are doing presently is that we have taken few verticals where the requirement of data, or when there is scarcity of data, which is there, and this is where we are plugging in. So my question to you is that, do you think this model on this type of platform, according to you, doesn't work?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that supplying synthetic data to customers doesn't work. What I'm saying doesn't work is if you try to go too broad without a much more precise positioning, you will not succeed in attaining any kind of repeatability. There are benefits of repeatability in building a software company. Actually, there's benefits of repeatability even in building a consulting company, but that's a different story. You're trying to build a software company here. Your thesis is you're going to supply synthetic data to use cases where there is a paucity of data. That's your use case. That's your thesis, right? That's your investment thesis. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. So now we need to find a use case in a vertical where this thing is a burning problem, where you can go in and solve the problem and then sell the same use case within the same vertical to hundreds and thousands of customers. That's the best way to build a software company. That's the disconnect. You are picking up whatever use cases is coming in front of you. I'm telling you that you need to be very deliberate about what use cases you go after. You need to estimate the bottom-up TAM of that particular use case and that particular vertical and go deep to execute on that use case and that vertical. And then as you become successful, let's say your first 10 million, maybe even first 100 million revenue is going to come from that first use case. Then you broaden into another use case and you get another 100 million in revenue. And that's how you build a big company. Now, there are many people who do bootstrap businesses without following these principles of building scalable software companies. And that's fine too. We support bootstrapping, but in general, the bootstrap companies that work within 1 million by 1 million, I teach them to follow the principles of, the more scalable ventures and make repeatability part of the product strategy and the go-to-market strategy. So in 1 million by 1 million, the principles, the methodology that we practice are more, repeatability targeted towards achieving repeatability, so that you can, even as a bootstrap company, you can build something that is repeatable. Is the best practices of building software companies. So whether you're a bootstrap company or a, venture funded companies, the best practices are not hugely different. Of course, we have other, nuances that we practice. Like if you are looking to go bootstrapping to an exit, then we kind of model accordingly. We create strategy accordingly. So there are a lot of nuances to building a software company. If you want to learn those nuances, I can teach you, I can coach you. That's what this 1 million by 1 million program is for. But you have to decide whether you want to learn and you want to work using our methodology, or you want to do just like, whatever you're doing and however you're doing. That's your decision. And then this 22, I saw that in the email that you sent me, 22.77 million valuation. Who created this valuation? So you're trying to raise money, looks like. Who created this valuation?
The financial people in both in India, Singapore, and Malaysia.
This is not the valuation of your company. I can tell you right now, this is not the valuation of your company at all. And first and foremost, you don't create the valuation. It is the investors who create the valuation. I can assess the valuation and give you an assessment of the valuation from the perspective of the software industry. You do not have a $22 million valuation with what you have presented here today. It is definitely not that. So that's my feedback. What you do with this feedback is entirely up to you. This is my feedback.
Thank you so much. Let us think it over. Let me get back to you on this. But for your inputs, what we have done is that in the last 6-7 months, the valuation was based on the market demand, was again on our forecasting and some of the revenue pipeline which we are getting in. So that's number one. Number two is that the first entry level as the first synthetic data platform in the Asian market has been taken into consideration on this.
Yeah, I think the people who have done valuation for you don't know how to do startup valuation. I can just look at this and tell you, the people who have done your valuation do not know how to do valuation for startups. So you can throw this away into the garbage basket. This valuation is garbage.
Why? What makes you think that the valuation is not as per the numbers? Maybe it's not 22.
This pitch, since you're trying to raise money, this pitch going to investors is not going to get you a $22 million valuation, $23 million valuation. Your company is not positioned. It's completely all over the place. There's no repeatability in it. VCs do not fund companies that do not have repeatability. VCs are looking to go from 0 to $100 million in 5 to 7 years. What you have presented here is not going to go. It's not even fundable. What you have presented here is not even fundable.
Tell me one thing. You have been telling us regarding the repeatability. Could you define that? Is it talking about the repeat customer cycle, or how you're talking about this?
Repeatability in a nutshell is this is the difference between a product and a service. You create a product, and that product, without huge amounts of customizations, can be sold to lots of people in a very high velocity way. Going from 0 to $100 million it used to be 5 to 7 years. Right now, the market is getting even more ambitious. It's asking for $100 million in 3 to 5 years. So this is an enormously fast growth company that VCs are looking to fund. If you're looking for venture capital, that is the kind of velocity people are looking for. That velocity is not achievable unless you can get tremendous amount of repeatability, which is mostly productized stuff that you can sell to tons of people without friction in a very, very high velocity way. If it requires a tremendous amount of customization, that typically does not give you repeatability. And here, what you presented today is all customization. Every single, 5, 10, 20 accounts are going to all be customization. And that is not going to give you repeatability.
Okay, got you.
So sorry to be completely,
No, this is
how I work.
No, that's absolutely fine. This is the first time because we have gone through this with number of other the accelerators, and it's good to hear you because I was told that I should be meeting you, and that was my major objective, is that to understand your huge amount of reputation and whether we can get some value out of your knowledge experience. That's number one. Number two, as an Indian based out of Singapore or Malaysia, we are building something which is totally new. Number two. Number three is that because of the nature of our business, there are people, including certain global consultancies, are coming to us to get them and to work with them. Okay. So those are happening. We are not going in and asking them that we would like to work with them. And at the same time, we did funding to work on the product. So the base of this blended valuation was done on the basis of our market, our clientele, the nature of work which we are doing, the newness in the market, and of course the sales forecasting or whatever you tell me in the Southeast Asian context. Maybe you are right. We need to relook at that, but definitely we can't go back on the market right now because we are almost going in and we are working in different geographies for that matter. But we will definitely.
This is why I told you that I asked you why you came here. What do you come here for? I gave you my feedback, and my sense was that you would not be able to work with me. That is why I gave you completely candid feedback, and I think you're going to go back, listen to what I said, and decide that you don't want to work with me. That is my assessment. I would be very surprised if you come back and want to work with me.
Anyhow, that's us for me to decide. But I take your point of view, because this is totally a new point of view which we have got from your side, and I would like to understand more, and maybe we will. I would like to send you some notes to find out how well you can.
Okay, now you have to stop and listen to. I'm going to explain how to use 1M to everybody in the room. How to work with 1M. I'm not going to spend any more time with you unless you are a member of the 1M premium program. So I'm going to explain now how 1M works. So listen and then ask questions after I'm done with explaining this, okay? So give me a moment. 1M is a fully virtual accelerator, and we are completely global. Anyone from any corner of the world can work with 1M. That is by design. Our goal is to democratize entrepreneurship education, incubation, and acceleration at scale. And we have taken our deep understanding of the Silicon Valley methodology, and we have trained, hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs on this methodology around the world. And this is the methodology that the world has decided to standardize on. And our unique contribution to this universe is the huge emphasis on bootstrapping that we have brought to the party. In the venture capital funded startup world, bootstrapping is looked down upon. We have removed that stigma. We have raised bootstrapping to a level of credibility and acceptance and so forth. We've been championing bootstrapping hugely. So we have, we respect bootstrapped entrepreneurs, bootstrapping entrepreneurs, and venture-funded entrepreneurs the same way, which is a totally unique way of looking at the startup universe. We have introduced an AI mentor. That's another part of the scalability. It is $30 a month, unlimited usage. You have it in your pocket 24/7, and you can dialogue with the AI mentor as much as you want and ask questions, feed your slide deck to the AI mentor, and it will give you lots of feedback, and you can dialogue with it at your own time. It's available in 57 languages. So pretty much you have something available at your fingertip. It's trained on 20 years of our work, including all recordings of trainings of our mentoring sessions. Our full acceleration program is 1M Premium. That is where you get weekly, whether you call it strategy consulting, mentoring, coaching, whatever it is, it's the interactive, just what we did just now. This is what you get on a weekly basis in private roundtables. That's part of the premium program. Investor introductions are part of the premium program, and the curriculum is part of the premium program. For example, I saw these very large TAM numbers. These are bottom-up, these are top-down TAM numbers. Investors don't care at all about top-down TAM numbers. If you work with me, I'm going to send you to the curriculum, study the curriculum module on bottom-up TAM, and implement that as your TAM analysis. Before you go to investors, you need a proper bottom-up TAM analysis. And I'm not going to sit down and do that with you. I'm going to send you to the curriculum. You're going to learn it from the curriculum and create the model, and then I will work with you on refining that model. That's how we work, whether it's positioning, whether it's curriculum, whether it's market sizing, whether it's validation, whatever part of the entrepreneurship, discipline you're working in, I'm going to work on it, but you're going to learn pedagogy, you're going to learn methodology from the curriculum. And none of this is taught really randomly. This is all based on a very specific methodology of bootstrap first, raise money later, very rigorous, strategic planning of how you put one foot before the other. That's how 1M is its own pedagogy. It is not the Y Combinator pedagogy. It is not the Techstars pedagogy. 1M has its own pedagogy, and it's a bootstrap first, raise money later pedagogy. It is not go big or go home. It is not blitz scaling from the get-go. It's a very different way we teach entrepreneurship. So the premium program is $1,000 annual membership fee. We also have 1M Basic, which is $99 a month, and it is curriculum only. And both Basic and Premium come with the AI Mentor as part of the offering. So AI Mentor comes with everything. AI Mentor can be accessed standalone as well for $30 a month. So go to the website, try to understand the different offerings. There is a one-on-one consulting available as well on a pay-as-you-go basis. That's $1,000 an hour. So it's a lot more expensive than the others. But whatever way you decide to work with us, there are many different ways you can work with 1M. But they're not infinite number of ways. There are 4 different ways you can work with 1M. You can only pitch at a free roundtable once for free. After that, you have to be in the program to work with me further. So do not send me notes. Do not send me emails. Unless you're in the 1M premium program, I do not respond to emails. I do not review slides. I do not dialogue on your strategy unless you're part of the premium program. This is how 1M works. And it works. It's been in the market for 16 years and it has a great reputation. So that's how things are going to move. We have 4 roundtables remaining in August. So every week, every Thursday, we have a roundtable. Sign up. Maureen will find you a slot, and I look forward to working with you. These are safe working sessions. You don't need to, be nervous. You don't need to, be defensive. These are safe working sessions. I'm on your side. I will tell you absolutely candidly what I see and what we need to do. I know what you need to do. The only thing that I caution people on is that if I tell you something, and if you decide that you're not going to listen to me, then don't join the program. You can build, many people are building programs outside of the 1M program. So 1M clearly is not the only way to become a successful entrepreneur. But if you join the program and you discard anything I say, there's no point. You're wasting my time, you're wasting your time, and you're wasting your money. So don't do that. If you have questions about the program after today's meeting, you can contact Irina Patterson on our team, irina@1mby1m.com, and she will answer your questions. That's it. If anybody has any other questions, I'm happy to answer.
I have a small question, Sramana.
Yes.
So I actually went through your curriculum when I was part of the Oracle 1M1M.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you've forgotten.
No, I do remember bottom-up size TAM sizing, and I have a question about that as well. So in your bottom-up TAM sizing, you mentioned their customer segmentation comes first, and you gave a lot of focus on the segmentation and all of things. And there are a lot of things I learned from the program, like bootstrapping with services, bootstrapping with paycheck, all of that I followed from the program itself. So now what I find real difficult in implementing means all those things sound really good on like the way, very logical and very mathematical, the way you described it. But when I actually tried to do customer segmentation, the data is not that way. It means the way you just multiply business model into customer segmentation and you get your TAM, it sounds simple on that thing, but getting that number, like how many global customer enterprises are there or how many things are there, how do I get that data, or how do I actually implement that thing? That's where I have a very specific question.
So in your case, you have to determine where you want to enter the market. If you're going to do enterprise, there's 2,000 global enterprises. there's a lot of data on how many companies are out there of what sizes. That is available out there. There are 2,000
So
global.
uniform. I look Reuters something. I look somewhere else. Something else is
So
there. How do I?
take one of them. There aren't infinite number of variations. There are a few variations. So you have to look. DNB has some data. Reuters has some data. So you have to find one of those, and you have to model using those assumptions. This is being done every day. On a regular basis. This TAM analysis is being done every day. And it's a model. You create a model based on assumptions. It doesn't have to be precise. It doesn't have to be 1.56178 billion. 1.5 billion is fine. So whatever, but you have to show how you're thinking about it. You have to create your pricing model. Yeah, at bottom-up TAM analysis is based on segmentation. It's based on pricing assumptions. It's based on those factors. And in your case, Jira is a well-known product, so there's a lot of information on Jira out there. So research what is published and what is out there and what you can use to model your TAM.
Yeah, I understand. For Jira, it is there, but the reason I am telling is before this also I built my startup in hospitality ecosystem, which was a homestay for homestays of India. I was building a property management system, and there the data was not available. And whenever I looked at Reuters and things like that, it used to give me a TAM number, like this is a $25 billion with a CAGR.
But that's top-down TAM. No one takes that seriously. In the investor world, nobody takes top-down TAM seriously.
Yeah, but getting that number
and ignore that completely.
Yeah. Now, when I get a number as well, I'll get let's say the number of Fortune 500 companies out there or the number of homestays in India. But then you speak about segmentation is how I get to that final. I pick up my business model, identify that ICP, and then from that top level number, I come to the actual segmented number of that's where I find a lot of difficulty, and there I don't get any number.
You decide you're going to work within the program. I will, you come up with a straw man and I'll help you refine it. We do this all the time. TAM is one of the most complicated things that we work on all the time. So yes, I help a lot of people with their TAM modeling. It's one of the most common things that people get stuck on.
Sure.
Anybody else? The people who have not spoken yet, if you have any questions, please let us know. Mitra, do you have any other questions?
I'm very thankful to you for your very much insightful conversation and your advice. Let me give me some time, and I will go online and see how we can work together.
Okay.
We will see, and we will take a look on this. And definitely, it's very interesting, and we would like to have your insight to build and to move forward in this world. So thank you so much for your advice.
If you decide that you want to work with me, just join the 1Mby1M premium program and I'll be happy to help you. No problem.
Absolutely. So I'll take a leave right now. Thank you so much to everyone for this, and we'll come back to you. Thank you.
All right, folks, I think I don't see any more hands up. So we will adjourn. Good luck with everything. Make lots of progress with your businesses, and I will see you at a later session. Okay? Bye.